Hello and Happy New Year. I am Marisha and welcome to my creative diary. I hope you're having the most amazing day. So today I'm going to take one design and create two different styled cards. Let's get started. First, I'm going to create my panel to create my cards. So I brought in Neenah Classic Solar White 110-pound cardstock, and I'm going to cut it down to 3 3/4 by 5 inches. I want to add some color to the center of this panel, so I brought in Distress Oxides, Shaded Lilac, and Victorian Velvet. Using my blending brush, I'm going to blend the two colors together in the center of the panel. I'm first going to apply Victorian Velvet, and then I'm going to apply Shaded Lilac. And then from there, I'm going to toggle back and forth between the two brushes to blend the colors together. Once I'm happy with the blend, I'm then going to bring in my Distress sprayer. I'm going to spritz some water on the oxide, and then I'm going to use my paper towel to soak up the water. Then from there, it's on to the next step. I'm now going to bring in my new favorite stamp set. This stamp and die set is called Gratitude, and it is from scrapbook.com. This includes sentiments such as grateful for you, gratitude, it changes everything, and so forth. I'm going to select the grateful sentiment. I'm going to position the stamp on my cardstock. I'm then going to ink up the stamp and stamp the cardstock 3 times to make sure I have a good impression. Then from there, I'm going to bring in some clear embossing powder. I'm going to sprinkle it over the sentiments. I'm then going to apply some heat with my heat tool. And then I'm going to bring in the coordinating die, and I'm going to use some mint tape to secure the die to the cardstock. I'm then going to run the die and the cardstock through my Spellbinders Platinum 6 die cutting machine. And then from there, it is on to the next step. Off camera, I decided to die cut the G out of black cardstock 3 times, and I'm going to use my liquid adhesive to stack the letters together. If you've been around me for a while, then you know how much I love stamp and die sets where I can get multiple usage out of them, and this right here demonstrates that. Now, the die for the G cuts out a shadow and a solid letter. The great thing about this set is you can mix and match the set. As you see right here, I'm going to use a solid black, and then for the shadow, I'm going to use gold. Now, I could opt to just use the shadow for this card. It's just so many possibilities on using this die set. The possibilities are endless. So yeah, you can mix and match the colors, add a metallic with a solid color, and so forth. As I always say, before you commit, experiment. Next, I'm going to bring in scrapbook.com's Sprigs die set, and I'm going to die cut a sprig out of gold metallic cardstock. Now here's a tip, trick, hack, whatever you want to call it. Some of the little pieces that are on the inside of the sprig, I leave them in there. To me, it adds additional interest to my projects. Next, I'm going to use my liquid adhesive to apply it to the sprig, and then from there, I'm going to position and place it over the G on the panel. Then from there, I'm going to bring in my sentiment, and I'm going to bring in some strips of cardstock. I'm actually going to layer 3 strips of cardstock to the back of the sentiment, and then from there, I'm going to adhere the sentiment to the panel. You can feel free to use foam tape if you'd like. Next, I'm going to adhere the panel to a gold mat with my adhesive glue. And then from there, I'm going to adhere the card front to my card base. My card base is an A2 standard sized top folding card. Then from there, I'm going to bring in some embellishments from Pink Fresh Studios, and I'm going to adhere a few to the sprig. I want to add a panel to the inside of the card, so I'm going to head back over to my MISTI, And I'm going to use the sentiment grateful for you, but I'm going to show you how I'm going to use just half of the sentiment, the for you. So I brought in some mint tape, and I'm going to tape off the grateful portion of the stamp. Then from there, I'm going to ink up the stamp. Now some of the ink will get on the mint tape, but that's okay because I'm now going to remove the mint tape from the stamp. And then from there, I'm going to stamp the sentiment on the panel. Next, I'm going to adhere the panel to the inside of my card. And then from there, off camera, I'm going to die cut a gold metallic heart. This die is included in the set. And then from there, this card is complete. Now it's on to card number 2. Next, I'm going to bring in Scrapbook.com's Honeycomb A2 cover plate die. And off camera, I use the die to die cut from gold metallic, teal, and coral cardstock. One of the great things about this next card is that it can easily be mass produced just from these 3 panels. Now off camera, I also use the die to die cut out of white cardstock. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to randomly cut out a few of the honeycombs. I'm then going to position them on the panel and then adhere them with adhesive glue. And then from there, in no particular order, I'm then going to adhere the colored pieces of cardstock to the inside of the honeycomb. Off camera, I stamp the sentiment with embossing ink, and I use my gold metallic embossing powder to add to the sentiment. Then from there, I'm going to adhere the sentiment to the panel because I've already adhered the G. And then from there, I'm going to adhere the panel to the mat. So basically, I'm repeating the same steps as I did with the first card. And now I'm going to adhere the card front to my card base. I have a few little paper fuzzies left over on my card front, so I brought in a piece of mint tape to pick them up off of my card. Let's take a look back at card number 1. And then now card number 2. Both cards have one design, but 2 different styles. Very easy to mass produce and to create. Thank you for joining me on today. I appreciate you for stopping by. I thank you in advance for subscribing, clicking the thumbs up button, and the notification bell. The products that are featured in this video are listed and linked below. Please do not forget to check out my blog at thediaryofbellerose.com. I'm sending you love and a whole lot of hugs. Until next time, please take care.